Yes. You stopped it? You changed something?
I'm just adjusting
Okay.
to make sure it's visible.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Prabhu, I'm not looking on my phone. I'm making notes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just delay.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijan Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijan Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Banachari Yamunatira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Banachari Yamunatira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vishnupatram Supraprachakacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad Srila Abhay Chandraminda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namachara Shahardastak Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Ki Jai जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Oh glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious, assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Oh glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh glorious to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaputari Shrimati Radharati Swamiti Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaputari Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paschatadeshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Divin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiret Nashta Preshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations, text 33. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishide svasamvidya avidya yatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishide svasamvidya avidya yatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishide svasamvidya avidya yatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishida svasamvidya avidyayatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishide svasamvidya avidyayatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Yatre me sadasadrupe pratishide svasamvidya avidyayatmani krite iti tat brahmadarshanam. Mataji. Yatra, whenever. Ime, in all these. Sat asat, gross and subtle. Rupe, in the forms of. Pratishide, on being nullified. Sva, samvida, by self-realization. Avidyaya, by ignorance. Atmani, in the self. Krite, having been imposed. Iti, thus. Tat, that is. Brahma darshanam, the process of seeing the Absolute. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Whenever a person experiences, by self-realization, that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. Purport. The difference between self-realization and material illusion is to know that the temporary or illusory impositions of material energy in the shape of gross and subtle bodies are superficial coverings of the self. The coverings take place due to ignorance. Such coverings are never effective in the person of the personality of Godhead. Knowing this convincingly is called liberation or seeing the Absolute. This means that the perfect self-realization is made possible by adoption of godly or spiritual life. Self-realization means becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies and becoming serious about the activities of the self. The impetus for activities is generated from the self, but such activities become illusory due to ignorance of the real position of the self. By ignorance, self-interest is calculated in terms of the gross and subtle bodies, and therefore a whole set of activities is spoiled, life after life. When, however, one meets the self by proper culture, the activities of the self begin. Therefore, a man who is engaged in the activities of the self is called the Jivan Mukta, or liberated person even in the conditional existence. This perfect stage of self-realization is attained not by artificial means, but under the lotus feet of the Lord, who is always transcendental. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that He is present in everyone's heart, and from Him only all knowledge, remembrance, or forgetfulness take place. When the living being desires to be an enjoyer of material energy, illusory phenomena, the Lord covers the living being in the mystery of forgetfulness, and thus the living being misinterprets the gross body and subtle mind to be his own self. And by culture of transcendental knowledge, when the living being prays to the Lord for deliverance from the clutches of forgetfulness, the Lord, by his causeless mercy, removes the living being's illusory curtain, and thus he realizes his own self. He then engages himself in the service of the Lord in his eternal constitutional position, becoming liberated from conditioned life. All this is executed by the Lord either through his external potency or directly by the internal potency. The translation of the verse again. Whenever a person experiences by self-realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vihivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai Shri Shri Gurnitai ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki Jai Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai Nitai Gaur Pramanandi Hare Hare. So we continue our discussion on Krishna is the source of all incarnations, and in these verses that we discuss now, it's all about the conditioning of the self and how to perceive who we really are. In previous verses, it is explained how the conditioned living entity identifies with gross and subtle bodies, like we perceive air as dusty or the sky as cloudy, although the sky has nothing to do with clouds or air with dust. So here it is explained how to become liberated from this misconception. Yes. When we become self-realized, we realize that the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with our pure self. And at that time, it's possible to see the self and the Lord. Iti tad Brahma Darshanam. Actually, the purpose of life is to achieve this Brahma Darshanam, to see the Lord, to see the self. Yes. And to achieve this Brahma Darshanam, to see the to see our existence, true existence, we have to transcend our conditionings. It's not possible otherwise to see ourselves. Many times people think that by mechanical process they can achieve something. But whatever is achieved by mechanical process is also mechanical. It means it's material. We can't achieve anything really by mechanical process. For example, we can state the example of a Jamila who unknowingly pronounced the name of the Lord. And we can think he mechanically achieved success, even though he didn't call the Lord at all, but he was calling for his son. But we can see also from this extreme example that when Yamadutas tried to drag Ajamila from his body, Vishnudutas appeared and protected Ajamila to be dragged to hell. And at that time, when Yamadutas realized that Vishnudutas are more powerful than them, they disappeared. And when Ajamila wanted to address Vishnudutas, Vishnudutas also disappeared. And then Ajamila very much lamented his sinful life. And he wanted to rectify. And he left his family at advanced age and went to Badrikashram and engaged in severe sadhana bhakti, yes, with desire to attain the Lord. So even Ajamila, although he didn't call the Lord at all, finally he had to consciously perform his devotional service. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada established Krishna consciousness movement, not Krishna mechanical movement, or not even a movement of worship of Krishna. Although certainly we worship Krishna, but consciousness is what is important. It's our consciousness. Our life depends on our consciousness. We should realize this, and therefore we should invest our time, our conscious endeavor to achieve Krishna. Of course, we know that Krishna is not able to be achieved. We cannot achieve Krishna by our own endeavor. But this is here said by Prabhupada. When we pray fervently to Krishna, then by his causeless mercy, he can remove the curtain of ignorance from our heart. And this is actually our only hope, that we can transcend Maya by Krishna's mercy. So, and here he says, Prabhupada, that self-realization means becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies and becoming serious about the activities of the self. Yes, this seems very hard, to become indifferent to the needs of gross and subtle bodies. So, of course, we don't neglect our bodies because we know that our body belongs to Krishna, and it's the means to connect with Krishna. We have no other means as our gross and subtle bodies. We use our subtle bodies to think of Krishna, and we use our gross body to serve Krishna in so many ways. So, but important is that our body, we realize that our body is not our deity. Sometimes Prahladananda Maharaj jokes that we serve our body like it would be our deity. We wake up in the morning and we make abhishek of the body, we decorate the body, we feed the body, yes. We show the mirror to the body. We act as if the body would be our deity, and we protect the body very carefully, meditate how to perfectly decorate the body, and so on and so forth. So, in this regard, we should understand this statement of Srila Prabhupada that self-realization means to becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies. And therefore, Krishna teaches us how to become indifferent to these needs by following certain austerities. Yes, like fasting for Ekadashi, for example. Yes. It's very conducive for spiritual life because, and it's also, by the way, beneficial for the body. Yes. It's not that Krishna is some sadistic person and let this guy fast twice a month. Let me see him suffer. No, Krishna, whatever arrangement there is in Krishna consciousness is just for our benefit. We should understand this. So this fasting for Ekadashis and appearance days of great acharyas and the Lord are beneficial for our consciousness if we take them seriously. Yes. So by fasting, of course, body is disturbed. Body doesn't like fasting. Yes. But by fasting, we realize how body conscious we are. How important is bodily comfort for us. Yes. And here Prabhupada stresses self-realization means becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies. And the need of subtle body is to be recognized, yes, by others. This is a very strong need. Even if we greet someone like Hare Krishna and he doesn't even notice us, we feel offended, don't we? Yes. But this means that we haven't realized that we are not this body. Yes. This desire for recognition is illusory, is actually influenced by ignorance. Yes. And because of ignorance, we identify with something that we are not. Yes. Because of avidya, there is asmita. Asmi means I am. And asmita means I identify with gross and subtle bodies. And therefore I take good care of these gross and subtle bodies. I want them to be eternal and I want them to be perfectly happy. Yes, this is my determination in life. But when we spiritually progress, then we learn that we are not this body. And although we learn this theoretically, we have to learn it practically also. We have to realize it. But realization is not possible if we just serve body and mind all the time according to their demands. And they are very demanding. Just even fasting till noon is not so simple, sometimes at least. So, therefore, in every spiritual tradition, there are certain austerities to be performed, and just to be civilized, we have to control our senses. You cannot do, even in gross material society, you cannot do just anything you want. your senses would want. Yes. So to be civilized, you have to control your senses and your mind. The whole society, spiritual society, spiritual progress is based on self-control, on austerity, actually. And we know from Bhagavad Gita that there are three kinds of austerities. Austerities of body, austerities of speech, and austerity of the mind. Yes. And we should follow all these austerities very diligently in order to realize ourselves. Yes. And all these austerities are actually about humility. Yes, Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Shocham Arjamam Brahmacharyam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapauchite. It is said by Lord Krishna in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. How austerities of the body consists of worshipping the Lord, brahmanas, teachers, superiors like father and mother. So all these austerities are actually about humility. We can not worship properly if we are not humble. How can we worship anyone if we are not humble? To worship someone means I realize that you are superior. And as we know, we should worship every living entity, actually, and definitely worship every Vaishnava. But it's not easy to worship every Vaishnava all the time, especially when we live together. If some Vaishnava is very far from us, yes, all glories. But when some Vaishnava is very close to us, we have the tendency sometimes to teach them humility. Hare Krishna. So, therefore, this living in communities is very conducive for our spiritual life. That we can become humble if our consciousness is properly directed. Yes. Otherwise, if our consciousness is not properly directed, we will commit offenses because we will not be happy with the situation. And in material world, no one is happy with his or her situation. Yes. Maybe for some time, if we just achieve, even materialistic psychologists, they say that what people perceive as happiness or satisfaction is just momentarily absence of desire. Yes. We want something, some new phone, for example, to give gross example. And we get it, and we are happy. Yes, I got a new phone. But actually, this is just for few moments. I lost the desire to have a new phone because I got it. But the next moment, I see that the same model that I purchased for a certain amount of money is somewhere else cheaper. And I'm disturbed immediately. Or my phone doesn't have some feature, but just now came out some new phone which has this feature that I really wanted to have. So I'm disturbed again. again the desire appears in our heart and misery comes back. Yes. So, therefore, um, self-realization means becoming indifferent to the needs of the gross and subtle bodies. Yes. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Shocham Arjam. To be clean, inside and outside, is also austerity of the body. And brahmacharya is very hard austerity. For majority of people in this world, practically it's impossible to maintain brahmacharya in modern world. Even if we don't engage in gross sex, it's the society is so permeated by sexual information, by sexual messages, that everyone is practically disturbed. Yes, and I've heard that this prostate cancer and breast cancer are all connected with these sexual messages. Yes, because everyone is always disturbed. Yes, by these messages. So one should really focus on our self-interest, not gross self-interest, material self-interest, but our spiritual self-interest. But we cannot become focused on our spiritual self-interest if we don't constantly hear and remind ourselves about our true self. Therefore, Prabhupada set this rule, at least 16 rounds. That doesn't mean maximum 16 rounds. Many times devotees think, yes, 16 rounds, this is maximum. This shouldn't be our maximum. This should be our minimum. Yes. Because what means minimum? That if really I don't have any time left in this world, I do at least 16. Yes. But there is no limit upward. We can chant unlimitedly holy names. Yes. Prabhupada first said 64 rounds, at least. And devotees were astonished. How can we chant 64 rounds? It's impossible, Srila Prabhupada, to chant 64 rounds. Okay, then chant 32. And they said, it's impossible for us to chant 32 also. And he said, okay, 16 minimum. 16 minimum. So Prabhupada's desire was 64, original desire to chant. That means that we really go deep in our chanting. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, which disappearance days will celebrate remember very soon. He said that if one doesn't chant 64 rounds, the Lord doesn't accept our offering. Yes, so this statement should humble us. Yes, it doesn't mean that we seek excuses. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said 16. Yes, of course he said 16. And he gave this assurance that Krishna will accept our offerings. But still, we should feel fallen if we are not able to chant 64 rounds, for example, because this was the desire of our acharyas. And also Lord Chaitanya said, because of the statement of Lord Chaitanya, Bhaktisiddhanta said this, that he said that he will accept prasadam only with those who are Lakshmipati, No, not Lakshmipati. Lakpati. Lakpati. Lak means 100,000, and this means 64 rounds. And these brahmanas who invited Lord Chaitanya to lunch, they were really despondent because they usually Lakpati means like in our Western languages like a millionaire. And they said, we have just few rupees, we are poor brahmanas, how can we become Lakpati to invite you to lunch? But then the Lord explained that Lakpati means one who chants 64 rounds of the holy name, who chants 100,000 names of the Lord. And then all the brahmanas started to chant 64 rounds. Yes, so maybe we are not able to chant 64 rounds daily. Sometimes we should try, at least for great uh, festivals like Janmashtami or Guru Purnima. I encourage everyone to try to chant 64 rounds. And you are more fired up, we can try to chant for Ekadashis, 64 rounds. Yes. Ekadashi is meant for remembrance of the Lord. This is the purpose of fasting. The purpose of fasting is not to suffer, but to have time for the Lord, more quality time. Yes. And we realize on the Ekadashis, especially if we have Nirjala Ekadashis, how much time we spend for bodily needs, to go to the toilet, often, practically, if we drink. And by taking prasad, we also, a lot of time goes by. Yes. Few hours a day at least to attend to bodily needs. Therefore, Ekadashis maybe are inconvenient for our gross and subtle bodies, but are very convenient for our spiritual life if we have proper consciousness. Everything can be misused. Also, fasting for Ekadashi can be misused. So, if on Ekadashis we think, yes, we are advanced devotees, I'm advanced devotee, and just see this these beginners, neophyte devotees who have to eat. Then our false body, uh, our gross body is fasting, but our false ego is feasting. Yes. So such fasting is useless. It's better than to eat, to, than to have such fasting. So fast should be performed with this consciousness that I'm insignificant living entity, very fallen actually. If I'm not able to chant the holy name all the time, Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Sada means all the time, not just here and there, or just 16 rounds, or just 64, but without stopping, all the time. This is Kirtan Yaksadahari. If I'm not able to be connected with the Lord all the time, I'm fallen. I should realize this. This shouldn't be just some phrase. Yes, I'm fallen. No. Once a devotee came to Prabhupada and said, I'm the most fallen. And Prabhupada said, you're not the most anything. You're simply insignificant. Yes, We should realize this, that we are simply insignificant fallen living entities, if we are not able to always remember the Lord. Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, I have a question. Has Prabhupada mentioned something about exercising?
Exercising, physical exercising. Yes, he himself performed physical exercises every day. He had these morning walks um, because of he's neglecting the body in one sense. He had several heart attacks, and then after one heart attack, the devotees took him to the doctor, and the doctor said that you pray too much, you should exercise also. And the devotees were thinking, this is a quack, he doesn't know what he's speaking. And then Prabhupada said, no, he's right. And after this, he started his morning walks, regular morning walks. And he didn't just walk slowly like walking a dog, but he was very vigorous in his walking. Although he was 70 plus years old, devotees hardly kept his tempo. Yes. He was so quick in his walking. Yes. So exercises are necessary actually. Mens sana in corpore sano. It is a Latin proverb that healthy mind in a healthy body. And we have to get air in our brain to think properly. Yes. Many times we neglect healthy living style. But because of modern type of living, we will deteriorate on gross and subtle level. Never in the history of humankind people were so inactive as they are now. For example, Lord Chaitanya went thousands and thousands kilometers by foot. Yes, from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri, and then to South India. These are thousands and thousands of kilometers, all by foot. And then from Jagannath Puri to Vrindavan. And these are again thousands and thousands of kilometers. And Sanatana Goswami went to Govardhan Parikrama every day, every single day. And he was not living under Govardhan. And they say that he walked 65 kilometers per day up to his old age. So much so that Lord himself appeared and gave him Govardhan Shila. He said that no need to go on Parikrama every day. You can go 3 times around this Shila and you can count as Govardhan Parikrama. And our Prayojana Acharya, Raghunath Das Goswami, he offered 3,000 full Dandavata obeisances every day. Can you imagine the exercise? 3,000 full Dandavata obeisances. Who is able to do it? Even most fit athletes, I would doubt that they are able to do 3,000 full Dandavata obeisances per day. Yes. To prostrate on the floor and get up, and again on the floor and get up. Just we can count who is good mathematician. You're a good mathematician. If one Dandavata obeisance takes 5 seconds, this is short time for Dandavata obeisance, isn't it? How much does it take? 3,000. Yes. 5 seconds. It's 15,000 seconds. How many minutes is this?
Let's say approximately 4 to 5 hours.
4 to 5 hours of constant, uninterrupted exercise per day. This is heavy exercise. 5 to 4 hours. 4 to 5 hours. Yes. You have computers on your phones. You can compute 15,000 divided by 60.
4 hours.
Yes, 4 hours.
Is it 15,000 seconds? Is it comes to?
Divided by 60, that we can get minutes.
16 or 60?
60.
250.
Sorry?
250.
250, and you divide it by 60 again.
By 60 again.
4 hours.
What is the result?
4.1666.
Yes. Yes. So more than 4 hours of exercises per day. Of course, this is very devotional exercise to offer 3,000 full Dandavata obeisances per day. So yes, don't be discouraged to perform exercises. This is very important that our brain is functioning normally. And if our brain is functioning normally, we can understand the need to surrender to Krishna. Yes. And if we exercise, we become more disciplined, usually. Those who exercise are more disciplined. And there was a marathon runner, the world champion marathon runner, Eliud Kipchoge. Have you heard about him? From Kenya, yes. He said, the only disciplined ones are free in this world. Others are just slaves of their passions. Yes, this very spiritual statement, if we take it in spiritual context. We should be very disciplined in our spiritual life. If we are not, and the whole class is about discipline in our spiritual life, to be ready to undergo austerities. If we are not ready to undergo austerities, and austerity with speech is to be very, our words should be pleasing and true and beneficial. Yes, anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chet. Swadhyaya pyasanam cheva vanmayanta bhujite. And we should study scriptures. Otherwise, other words cannot be true and cannot be beneficial if we don't study scriptures. Then we will misguide others and we will misguide ourselves also. So all these austerities are needed, and one of the most hard of austerities is the austerity of the mind. Yes, and manah prasadak saumyatvam, to be very satisfied all the time. This is hard exercise, to be satisfied. But if you want to be blissful, if you want to be happy, we have to be satisfied. Yes, it's impossible to be blissful without satisfaction. And everything in this world will go against our satisfaction. We have to be ready. Yes. The prasad will not be as we would like to be. Yes. And the temperature will not be as we would like to be. The weather will not be as we would like to be. The neighbors will act against our will. other devotees in the ashram will not be as we would like them to be. Yes. Everything will go against our will all the time. So train yourself to be satisfied in every situation. Yesterday evening we discussed this lila of Saint Francis of Assisi. He showed extreme satisfaction in extreme circumstances. So we should also try to cultivate this satisfaction and not defending ourselves, because defending means I'm not satisfied. Therefore, I'm defending. Yes, I defend my false ego, that others would give it proper respect. So even if I'm accused of something unjustly from our perspective, we should take it as Krishna's mercy. We should appreciate it. Not that just we swallowed it like some impalatable pill. Yes. But we should welcome it. We should welcome all these accusations and any mistreatment, actually, as Krishna's mercy. Yes, this is hard, but it's needed for. It's sent by Krishna. We should have this perception. It's sent by Krishna. Why we would object His mercy? And as long as we are against His mercy, it's impossible to attain His mercy. Then we are a schizophrenic personality. On one side we pray for Krishna's mercy, and on the other side we reject it. Like there was some saint who prayed for love, and Lord kept sending him different people who need so much things from him. and he realized that he doesn't get what he's praying to, but he gets what he needs. Yes. So we should also realize that these inconveniences that we receive in this life are just fulfillment of our prayers. Yes. There are Krishna's mercy coming in our life. So welcome them, embrace them, and be happy with them. Yes. Be joyous at inconveniences. And then you can be Jivan Mukta, as Prabhupada says here. Yes. Therefore, a man who is engaged in activities of the self is called Jivan Mukta, or a liberated person even in the conditional existence. Because if we fight for our recognition, if we fight for our material comfort, then we don't engage in activities of the self, but we engage in activities of matter. Yes, of some dust, of dead dust. Hare Krishna. So engage in activities of the self. And this is most perfectly done by humility and satisfaction. Be always humble and satisfied. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment? Yes, please.
Okay, it was right at the beginning when you were reading the purports. So I don't see myself as liberated at all. So I'm just going to read what the sentence that caught my attention. Such coverings are never effective in the person of the personality of Godhead. Knowing this convincingly is called liberation, or seeing the absolute. And before that, it was written, the difference between self-realization and material illusion is to know that the temporary or illusory impositions of material energy in the shape of gross and subtle bodies are superficial coverings of the self. The coverings take place due to ignorance. But such coverings are never effective in the personality of Godhead. So I know this, and I understand it. It's not difficult to understand at all for me, but absolutely not liberated. So what am I missing?
You're missing realization. We can know theoretically something. We can know, every devotee can understand theoretically that he's not his body. This is not so hard to understand if we have at least little intelligence. Yes, we can see we are not this body, but we don't realize it so easily. Immediately when there is bodily discomfort, we jump. Why we jump? Because we are still on this platform. If someone would offend you, or me, or anyone who is not realized, he will jump immediately. Like yesterday you said, it's like pressing a switch. Yes. Without even knowing, we just jump. And this is conditional life. We cannot act like Saint Francis was acting. So we are missing realization. And realization will come through ardent practice, through intense devotional service, that we chant really with great focus, with this prayerful mood. Krishna, please help me. I'm helpless. We should realize that we are helpless. And as long as we don't realize that we are helpless, Krishna will put us in different situations that will realize that we are helpless. Again and again and again. Krishna has all the time at his disposal. Yes, whole eternity. And we also, you're also eternal living entities, so we can learn some lesson for the rest of eternity if we don't learn it now. So better it is to learn it immediately. Therefore, it's very good to hear constantly. Nashta Preshva Padrshu Nityam Bhagavata Siva. There should be Nityam Bhagavata Siva. Constantly hear, to be constantly reminded. One would think, yes, I know this philosophy for many years, so why should I hear? No, but we should be reminded, because by conditioning we remain, our consciousness remains on material level without realization. So we should constantly hear, constantly chant with this attitude, and no disturbance we should allow that disturb our chanting. Yes, no talking to other people, not doing anything else, not allowing phone to give any sound or anything that can disturb us. Yes. This is extremely important. If we don't have such attitude in spiritual life, we will never become realized. We will always missing something. Yes. So take it seriously. This sadhana should be taken extremely seriously, not some automatical process. So sit down and chant. Or if you're not able to sit down, walk here and there, not looking out of the window. or moving this thing and that thing. just focus on your chanting. All these things can wait. Looking through the window, moving things around, doing something. All these can wait and should wait. We should just focus on our chanting. And when we read, focus on your reading and think about what you read. Yes. And hear Krishna Katha every day, without exception. And then, and try to implement these things in your life. This humility, especially, is very hard, and these austerities are very hard for the body. There are also easy parts, like taking prasad. Everyone loves to take prasad, but it's also necessary to take prasad only, not other food, just prasad. Yes, this is not so easy again, especially if you live outside of the ashram. So we should identify as servants all the time. I'm a servant of Krishna, and Krishna is having his relationship with me in all different circumstances, through all different living entities. And he examines how I'm really connected to him. Hare Krishna. Yes, please.
Could you elaborate more on the definition of satisfaction?
Definition of satisfaction. Satisfied means that we are internally happy, that everything is perfect, as it should be. Dissatisfaction means everything is wrong. But satisfaction means everything is perfect. Maybe my body and mind feel different inconveniences, and it's not so pleasing, but I know it's for my benefit. Krishna is sending this for my benefit, so I'm satisfied with it. This is satisfaction. I'm satisfied with whatever I get. Even if I'm suffering, like yesterday we discussed this example of Saint Francis of Assisi. He explained that if they would go in this winter time and knock on the door in some monastery, and the person there would open the door and chase them away. Of course, he said that we would come back again and plead, please open the door for the God's sake. But still, he said that perfect happiness is to be satisfied with whatever Lord is sending to me. Yes. So even though it is inconvenient and is painful even, and we try to get better situation, it doesn't mean that we don't try to get better situation. But even if we try to get better situation, we are still satisfied with whatever we get by Krishna's mercy. Yes. Even if we continue with inconveniences of the body and mind. Yes. We don't complain. We don't complain. Never complain. Never complain. Yes. This complaining is the sign that we are on gross material level. Yes. So never complain. And all offenses come from complaining. Yes. You can't do offense if you're not complaining, even in your heart. So don't complain even in your heart. Never complain. But this doesn't mean if you are utterly humble like this, that we should tolerate mistreatment of other Vaishnavas. We shouldn't tolerate mistreatment of other Vaishnavas. We should understand this. For other Vaishnavas, we should fight, but not for ourselves. If we are mistreated, we should be happy. Yes, and see it as Krishna's mercy. Hare Krishna. Is this okay? Anything else? Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Please accept humble this. Alright.
Yesterday you spoke of the qualities of the devotee.
Yes.
From which verse of Bhagavad Gita?
Yes.
What was the Bhagavad Gita verse? Do you remember?
Yes. 12, 13. Yes, 13 to 14.
It must be the 12th chapter. My devotees would be also could not believe. So it was the 12th chapter, verse 13.
Yes.
But there is somewhere in Prabhupada's books the 26 qualities. Do you know where they are?
Where they're listed.
Yeah.
I believe in Nectar of Devotion. Yes.
The 26 qualities. It is when Lord Chaitanya was teaching Sanatana Goswami or Vishnu Chaitanya.
Maybe also. Maybe it's also there. I don't know.
I don't
by heart.
remember. Because they are clearly stated somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
But we have to look for it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.